The Lost Wallet. Aryan was a 17-year-old boy who lived in a small town with his mother and younger sister. Mira, his father, had passed away when he was very young, and his mother, Kavita, worked tirelessly as a seamstress to provide for the family. They lived in a small, one-room house, and every rupee mattered to them. Aryan understood their struggles, so after school, he helped his mother by doing small jobs around town, delivering newspapers, cleaning shop windows, and running errands for shopkeepers. One evening, as Aryan was walking home from work, he saw something lying on the road near a busy marketplace. It was a brown leather wallet. He picked it up and looked around, but there was no one nearby who seemed to be searching for it. Curious, he opened the wallet and his eyes widened. Inside, there were several high-value bills neatly stacked. He had never seen so much money in his life. His heart pounded. He thought about his mother, who often went to bed hungry just so he and Mira could eat. He thought about their rent, which was due in a few days. With this money, he could help his family, buy books for school, and maybe even get his mother a new sari, something she hadn't bought for herself in years. The temptation was overwhelming, but then Aryan noticed something else in the wallet, a business card. The name read Mr. Rowan Verma, along with an address and a phone number. Aryan had heard of Mr. Verma. He was a wealthy businessman who owned several factories in the city. Aryan stood still for a long time. The money could change his family's life, but he knew it did not belong to him. His mother had always taught him that honesty was the greatest virtue. No matter how hard life gets, never take what isn't yours, she would say. He sighed, knowing what he had to do. That night, he told his mother about the wallet. She smiled with pride and said, "You must return it. Integrity is the only wealth that stays with you forever." The next morning, Aryan walked several miles to the address on the card. He stood in front of a huge iron gate, hesitant. A security guard stopped him and asked what he wanted. "I found this wallet yesterday. It belongs to Mr. Verma," Aryan said, showing the guard the wallet. The guard looked at him suspiciously. "Wait here," he said before disappearing inside. A few minutes later, a tall man in a crisp suit came out. He was in his mid-50s, with neatly combed hair and a serious expression. He was none other than Rowan Verma himself. "You found my wallet?" Mr. Verma asked, looking at Aryan curiously. "Yes, sir," Aryan said, handing it over. "I found it on the road near the marketplace." Mr. Verma opened the wallet and checked the contents. Everything was intact. He looked back at Aryan, surprised. "Do you know how much money was in here?" Aryan nodded. "Yes, sir, a lot." "And yet you returned it?" Aryan nodded again. "My mother says that honesty is more valuable than money." For a moment, Mr. Verma said nothing. Then a smile spread across his face. "Your mother raised you well," he said, impressed. "Do you go to school?" "Yes, sir, but I also work after school to help my family." Mr. Verma's eyes softened. He reached into his pocket and took out a few notes, offering them to Aryan. "Here, take this as a reward for your honesty." Aryan hesitated. "Thank you, sir, but I didn't return the wallet for a reward. I did it because it was the right thing to do." Mr. Verma was astonished by the boy's integrity. He put the money back in his pocket and thought for a moment, "What if I offered you something else? A scholarship for your education?" Aryan's eyes widened. "A scholarship?" "Yes," Mr. Verma said. "I will cover your school fees and ensure you get a proper education. A boy like you deserves an opportunity to succeed." Tears welled up in Aryan's eyes. "Thank you, sir. This means so much to me and my family." That evening, when Aryan returned home, he told his mother everything. She hugged him tightly, tears streaming down her face. "I am so proud of you, my son." From that day on, Aryan's life changed with Mr. Verma's help. He focused on his studies, and years later, he became a successful man. But no matter how far he went, he never forgot the lesson his mother had taught him, that honesty and integrity are the true riches of life. Years later, Arian, now a successful entrepreneur, started a scholarship fund in his mother's name to help underprivileged children pursue their dreams, and every time he helped someone, he remembered that one fateful day when he chose honesty over temptation.